Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here, coming at you with another gameplay impressions, and today we're going to be taking a look at Persona 4 Dancing All Night for the PlayStation Vita. This title was sent to me by Niz America so that I could give it a look and tell you guys my opinions on it. And as some of you guys might be aware, particularly those of you who've been with the channel for some time now, I became quite the fan of Persona 4 when I actually got to play it. As a matter of fact, it is one of the few games that pretty much hooked me, and I played it through to completion, all over 90 plus hours of it, and I had a blast with that game. So, bearing that in mind, what exactly is Persona 4 Dancing All Night about? Because, I mean, Dancing All Night, you guys might be wondering, oh, so it's just like a music type game? What's the deal here? What are we getting with this title? And to be completely honest, it is a rhythm game, but it is also more than that. As I've been playing through Persona 4 Dancing All Night, which is something that I was not expecting to be that captivated by, but then when I went to Gamescom and I saw what the game was like, I was like, I gotta try that. That looks like it's so much fun. And basically, one of the things that is essential, I feel, to the experience of Persona 4 Dancing All Night is, are you a Persona 4 fan? Did you play Persona 4? I think that is going to be very much something that is going to make or break your purchasing decision. Because one of the main things that I get from Persona 4 Dancing All Night is essentially you get to watch those characters again. You know what I'm saying? You basically get to interact with those characters and you get to do stuff with those characters. Because those characters, if you've played through Persona 4 all the way, those characters are like ingrained in your mind. Unless you didn't like it, which I would find incredibly hard for someone not to enjoy Persona 4 All Night and kind of stick, not All Night, Persona 4 Golden, and kind of stick with it all the way. But anyway, beyond that, I've been talking for like 2 minutes and I still haven't told you guys what the game is about. It is a rhythm game. There's also a story mode to this game. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to show you guys the songs in story mode. They specifically requested that we do not reveal the songs that are present in story mode, but I can tell you that there are a lot of songs in Free Dance. There's a lot of remixes of the original soundtrack of Persona 4, and that's another thing. Did you enjoy the soundtrack of Persona 4? Because personally, me, I loved the soundtrack of Persona 4. Like, I even remember there were several occasions where after playing through Persona 4, I just would go online, look up the tracks, and just listen to the tracks on Spotify or something like that, and just start listening to the Persona 4 soundtrack, because I enjoyed it that much, right? So that is another factor that is going to factor in whether or not you're going to enjoy Persona 4 Dancing All Night. But anyway, let's talk about the gameplay itself. So how does the rhythm game play out? Well, when you're in a stage, which is when you're actually doing the whole dancing and all that, there's 6 buttons in your console, which are actually 5, I guess. Well, to be honest, it uses almost all the buttons in your console with the exception of D-pad D-pad right and square. Those two are not used for anything, at least not yet. I don't think they're used for anything. I've played quite a bit of the game, so basically you will have 3 markers on each of the sides. You will probably be watching some gameplay right now. You'll have 3 markers on each of the sides. So the top right marker is triangle, leftmost marker is circle, left bottom marker is X. So as you can see, you form like this arc with your faceplate buttons, so triangle, circle, and X. And then on the left side of the screen, there's going to be another one of those, and basically instead of being triangle, circle, and X, it's going to be D-pad up, D-pad left, and D-pad down. And that, you will see that there are stars going from the middle of the screen. You will have to hit those buttons exactly when the stars are about to reach that specific point of the screen. It is fairly intuitive. Once you do 1 or 2 songs, it's fairly easy to get into it. It is, however, incredibly hard to master, particularly if you leave all the settings at default. Now, why am I talking about leaving settings at default? Because if you notice the background stage where you actually have the characters dancing, like depending on which character you have selected, you can have Teddy dancing, you can have you dancing. You, by the way, is the name of your character. I mean, I don't know if you guys are like me, but like I named my character a different name than the canon name. But the canon name for the protagonist of Persona 4 is you. I don't remember his last name, but it's just like Y and U. It's like his first name. So everybody calls him you. Anyways, you could be dancing with you. You could be dancing with Naoto. You could be dancing with Rise. You could be dancing with Chie. Pretty much all of the characters of Persona 4. And there's a couple of new characters that are introduced, but so far I haven't actually played with any of them. Actually, I did. I think I did. Yeah, I played with one of them, one of the Kaname Kitchen girls. Yes, you do get to play with some of them. Not sure if you get to play with all of them, but you definitely get to play with at least one of them that I've played at this point. But these new characters are essentially a part of the story, and we'll get into the story in just a couple of minutes. But as I was saying, as you are struggling to press through all these buttons and the rhythm of the music and all that stuff, you will notice that the background, the stuff that's happening in the background is very flashy, and there's a lot of colors going on, and therefore it is kind of hard to keep track of all the stars that are going through the screen and all that, which is why I said the default settings makes it incredibly challenging. Not saying that it's not challenging if you perform this slight alteration that I'm going to tell you, but basically in the configuration screen, there is something where they say brightness. I don't think that is properly explained, to be completely honest, because it's not really brightness, it's just the brightness of the background. So basically, if you dim that down, like personally I just dimmed it maximum down because I was really struggling to complete some of these songs, right? If you dim that down to the minimum, it makes it a lot easier for you to identify the stars and when you have to press buttons and all that. Now, just pressing 6 buttons seems like a very simple rhythm game, right? So how do they, add some more complexity to it? There's a couple more mechanics, namely every now and then something will appear on screen that's like this green trail thing, which means that when that hits the button that you have to press, you have to keep that button pressed for a while and then release it when the trails end. On top of that, there's also another mechanic which you guys will eventually see throughout whatever song I'm showing you right now in the background as well, which is these pink bars that show up and they start growing outwards. And when they get to their designated location, usually that means you have to press 2 buttons. So far, the only combinations that I've seen are up D-pad and triangle, left D-pad and circle, and down D-pad and X. And I think that is going to be the extent of the complexity of that particular mechanic. But yeah, that makes it a little bit more challenging because when you got stars coming and then you got the lines coming and you got the green trails coming, there's a lot of stuff to keep in mind in what you have to do. And on top of that, you'll also be seeing these blue circles and these fever circles that are constantly expanding outwards. These are the scratch mechanic, which basically means whenever one of those circles is about to hit the outer, is about to hit basically where you have to press the rhythm buttons, but except it's hitting on all buttons, right? Whenever one of those circles is about to hit, you have to move one of the analog sticks in any direction that you want. Just move an analog stick. So they're very flexible with those ones. Those are not essential to your score, but they will, increase your score if you hit those, and they will also increase your fever gauge or something. At some point you get into a fever and just you get a ton of points when you're in fever mode. But that is the basic gameplay mechanics of the rhythm mode. So in free dance mode, you have a whole bunch of songs that you have access to. The more songs you play, the more songs you unlock. So even if you're just playing in free mode instead of doing story mode, you're going to be constantly unlocking more and more songs that you can then take on and keep on playing. And basically the more songs you play through, the more songs you unlock, and on we go. Now the songs are not just the original soundtrack, bear that in mind. There are songs from the original soundtrack of Persona 4, but there's also a lot of new songs, and a lot of the songs that you will recognize have been remixed, which is kind of cool because it gives you that feel, that nostalgia of when you played Persona, but with different rhythms and different beats, and you see the characters dancing and all that, and it's fun. Personally, I feel that this game is more of a celebration of Persona than necessarily a rhythm game per se. It's just there so that you can celebrate the time that you've spent with these characters, because you probably miss some of these characters because there's only been one Persona 4 game. I mean, there was also that Persona Arena Ultimax, whatever, but I never really played that one, so can't talk too much about that one. But anyway, so that is the free dance mode and pretty much everything that you will do in terms of rhythm dancing. So how does the story work? The story so far seems to be pretty linear. There are a couple of dialogue options that you get while you are in story mode. I'm going to give you just the basic plot without spoiling anything. The basic plot of the story is that basically Rise is making a comeback, and she's going to become an idol again, and she's working with this agency and whatnot. And she is doing her comeback performance is going to include all of her friends from Innova. So she's invited you, Chie, everyone that that was in Persona 4. She invited them to like do this performance with her. So everybody's like practicing and whatnot and all that stuff. And as you start the game, basically you are with you and Naoto, and some weird stuff starts taking place where someone gets kidnapped into this strange realm, kind of like the TV world, but instead of being the TV world, it's actually this location called the Midnight Stage. And so it's the same thing. The way that it works this time is if you are at the website for that agency that they're working for, and you watch the website after midnight, a video plays, and after that, you get sucked into that world. So naturally, our heroes are like, we don't believe that, and so they go and they watch it, and they get sucked into the world, and then you have to, they basically become surrounded by shadows and whatnot, and they're like, oh my god, there's something going on here, and there's people who've been kidnapped into this world, and we have to go save them. So, but when they try to engage the shadows, you can't actually do combat in that world, because no one can hurt or get hurt in that world. So basically the way to defeat the shadows is to dance and transfer your energy to those shadows through your dance and express yourself and all that stuff. And that's kind of like how they go about having the story with dancing performances and all that. And so basically the story kind of devolves into them going into that world to try and save a couple of more people that then get kidnapped. And that's pretty much where I'm at with the plot. And there's a lot of dialogue. There are a couple of dialogue choices that you get, but I'm not sure how much they actually affect the outcome. Because so far the dialogue choices have been very benign. There's nothing like, do this and you're an asshole, do this and you're a nice guy. You know, there's nothing like that. I think they're just there to kind of give you the illusion of being in control. But again, I haven't played enough of the story mode to really make sense of it all. And the story mode doesn't actually get me that much. What gets me really is just the dance stuff. The dance stuff is just a lot of fun because you're just watching these characters that you've spent all these hours playing with, and you're watching them do these dance moves and whatnot, and it's kind of cool because particularly for me there was a dance which was the Maze of, I think it's the Maze of Life, because you see Yui and Chie was like my romantic interest in Persona 4. So you know it's very nostalgic, and again it's more of a celebration to me than a rhythm game. But again, that could just be me. I've been playing a normal difficulty, pretty challenging, and there's like 3 difficulty levels that you have. You have your easy, your normal, and your hard. And I think even on easy, I was missing some of the stuff. Then again, I'm not the best rhythm gamer, so to speak. So don't take me for an example. But I've been able to kind of plow through most of the songs on normal. But I can't even imagine what hard is like, because sometimes you just get so many things happening once. There's like the circle, there's the pink stuff, there's the green stuff, there's all of these things coming in at once, and you just like, you lose your rhythm. And the second that you lose the rhythm, you just start pressing buttons at random, and it's just like complete chaos. So you have to really keep up with the beat and keep up with like all of the stuff that you're doing, otherwise you're kind of screwed. Now there are some stuff that you can adjust. Like you can make the stars show up earlier and come in slower, but it doesn't really make the thing easier. I mean, you might think, oh, but if they're giving you a lot more notice in advance, it makes it a lot easier. Not so much, because if you think of it, like the music always has the same beats, right? So you're going to have to press the same buttons at the same time in order to get a good score. And so if those things are coming in slower, what that means is you're just going to have a much more cluttered screen with a whole bunch of stars, and you're going to have to figure out, okay, this one's there. It's going to become a lot more cluttered. So you have to find a balance. Personally, I've been playing it on default, which is like the speed of 4, and that seems to work for me ever since I reduced the brightness. But before reducing the brightness and having that background completely flashing onto you, it was completely insane. Another thing is they have another mode in Free Dance which allows you to just go ahead and watch a perfect playthrough of a certain music that you're trying to master. Not that it matters all that much. It's just if you just want to enjoy watching the characters dance and enjoy the tunes, you can do that as well. Just remember that in order to unlock more music, you actually need to play these stages and beat these stages. And again, you also have the easy difficulty if you're struggling through to finish them on normal. And you also have the hard difficulty, which, yeah, pretty damn hard. Beyond hard and beyond the difficulty that you see on free dance, easy, normal, and hard, they will also show you a rating of stars, which will tell you how hard a music actually is. So, for instance, the music, I don't know, I'm just going to pick one at random here, because I'm looking at the game, but you guys are probably looking at something different. But the music that I was talking about, Maze of Life, in easy, that is a 5-star music. In normal, it is a 8-star music. And on a hard, it is a 12. Is it 12? No, it's not 12. It's even more. It's like 14-star music. So, yeah, on hard, I can't even imagine doing Maze of Life. And so, yeah. But basically, the more stars, the harder stuff is going to be, and so on and so forth. Now, beyond free dance and beyond story mode, there's also a shopping thing that you have in game. This shopping does not actually use in a real money currency. It uses a currency that you get from completing stuff on the free dance, and I think probably in story mode as well. So whenever you complete actions in game, you're going to earn a currency, and that currency you can then spend it over in shopping. And shopping allows you to buy different outfits for your favorite characters. So, for instance, one of my favorite characters is Chie Satonaka, so I bought a whole bunch of stuff for her. She's got her LMB stage outfit, which is the default. She has the Yazoo High jersey, which is the stuff that they would use in phys ed, I think is what you guys call it. But for training and whatnot, that's the Yazoo jersey. There's also her winter clothes. There's her winter Yazoo outfit. There's a maid uniform for Chie, which I still haven't bought. There's her summer Yazoo outfit, summer clothes. There's a cheer outfit, a tracksuit. There's a Santa dress. There's a pumpkin dress. There's a fighter armor, and there's another item that I haven't unlocked. This is just for Chie, and this is just for clothing, because there's more. Like, beyond clothing, there's also accessories. So if I go once again to Chie Satonaka, I'm just giving you the example on one character, and you can imagine this is available for all the characters. So you got the bear-made glasses, which are the glasses that you get in Persona 4. You got gag glasses, which are those glasses with the nose and the mustache. You've got an item that I haven't unlocked yet. You got sunglasses. You got 70s sunglasses. You got red headphones, blue headphones, yellow headphones, pink headphones. You've got some weird branded headphones, again, multiple colors. And eventually you have a Tanaka mask, which, for those of you who know, Tanaka was the program of the shopping television network in Persona 4. And so you can get a mask of the host of the show. And then there's a hidden item that I haven't unlocked yet. Again, this is just for Chie, a combination of clothes and accessories that you can purchase. Then you have all of this for, obviously, the main character, whose name now I'm looking at is Yui Narukami. Also for Yosuke, Yukiko, Rise, Kujikawa, Kanji, Naoto, Teddy, and there's 2 more characters that are grayed out here, and it seems that I have to finish the story in order to get access to items for these 2 characters. So it seems that beyond all the characters that you've played in Persona 4, there's 2 more characters that you'll be able to play as, because basically all of these customization options will then allow you, when you go to free dance, and let's say you're doing a dance that is with Chie, you can select which clothing she will have on, you can select which glasses she will have on, or whatever, and the same thing for every single character. And sometimes you will have some actually most dances, I think, will have like a backup dancer, which will show up during Fever. For instance, in the Maze of Life, like I've been saying, is a dance with Yui and Chie. So at some point during the dance, Chie shows up and performs alongside Yui. And basically you get to select, for that specific dance, you get to select the clothing and the accessories on Yui, as well as the clothing and accessories on Chie. So there's a lot of stuff for you to unlock, and you will gain a bunch of money if you just go ahead and do free dance mode. So they also have a DLC screen, but I haven't seen any DLC available yet on the EU platform, so I don't know what the DLC is going to be. If they're going to have additional songs, or if they're going to have additional cosmetic changes to the game, I honestly don't know. Regardless of that, as I've been saying, this is very much, to me personally, more of a celebration of the Persona 4 game than necessarily a rhythm game. So there's a lot banking on nostalgia here. So I don't think that if you're, like, let's say if you're just coming into this fresh, if you have no idea what Persona is, I don't think this game is going to resonate as well to you as it would to a Persona fan. And if you're a Persona fan and you're not into rhythm games, all I can tell you is that I'm also not into rhythm games, and I'm enjoying the crap out of this game simply because it's got the Persona characters on it, and it's a lot of fun. So, again, that's all I can really say about Persona 4 Dancing All Night. If you're a Persona fan, I would recommend it. If you're not a Persona fan, I don't know. You'll have to look at the footage that's been playing throughout this video and figure out for yourself. Thank you very much for watching. Leave me all your comments and feedback in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Okay! You even stuck the landing!
Let's kick things up a notch!